that this team can't do at a high level.
The Warriors have an identity. They know who they are.
You are the driving force behind a defense that has just been absolutely dominant. Now, all of a sudden, Draymond Green is the 2017 Draymond Green, who was a defensive menace and wins the Defensive Player of the Year. So what changed? How are you back?
Draymond Green's impact as a defensive player has caused many to look for the next version. Though it's not a perfect comparison, Jarace Walker's game seems to be walking in the right direction. Today, I aim to break down what makes his offense and defense so special. His impact as a weak side helper is great, consistently sliding down and using his hand to jam up players. See how as the big does his drop step, Jarace is already attacking the ball. These early rotations and sharp hands allow him to stop rolls entirely, blocking off space and forcing turnovers. Even if he can't attack the ball, he constantly uses his body to wall off angles in the post. Jarace's positioning forces a wider angle from the big, leading to a turnover. However, when facing stronger bigs, he lacks discipline, opting to take a lighter stance, allowing his man to apply more weight and spin back into a finish. This lack of a wide stance limits his impact as a post defender, but is something he can clean up with more experience. Smaller bigs don't bother him, as he can absorb their contact and react to their shots. This often leads to bigs overextending themselves to finish, losing touch in the process. His big frame also helps his team defense, as being a stable wall allows others to help and apply more pressure. His ball tracking in the post makes it hard to face up against him, as he'll often anticipate the explosion from a triple threat. On the perimeter, he'd often take a steep angle, willing to be out of position. It could get him burned, but also allowed him to use his hands more, controlling the momentum and affecting their dribble. He was very reactive, but made up for it with impeccable recovery technique. This play perfectly captures how enduring he can be on the perimeter. His presence forces a switch, two other players decide not to attack, and then the ball swings back to the initial handler. He takes a solid angle, anticipates his explosion, and then uses his ball tracking to snuff the crossover. Incredible defense. However, this constant reliance on beating them to the spot has had some issues for stronger players. On this play versus Hendricks, he bites on the fakes and then recovers backwards, aiming to beat Hendricks to the spot. However, Taylor uses his space to establish momentum and leads to a clean dunk. He should have looked to wall off instead. In the pick and roll, he has a knack for recovering to rollers off doubles. His wingspan allows him to deter shots seemingly at will, and his ability to wait for a drive or recover to the shot makes it hard to beat him off breakdowns. However, this constant scrambling can lead to issues. He lacks the awareness to know who his man is consistently. On this play, he doesn't follow his man initially, sees that his teammate never changed the matchup, but doesn't react until the big's already popped, and chooses to double instead of tagging his man. Easy offense. Still, he can get away with this constant doubling because of his ball tracking, like on this play, using his hand to control the initiator's momentum and his other hand to take away passing angles. He then recovers back and times his jump perfectly, creating a steal. Because of this close down speed, oftentimes players don't hit the roller when he's in vicinity. They avoid it twice before finally trying it, and it automatically leads to a turnover. But now let's look at how all of these athletic tools help to build his offensive game. In transition, he was a quality rim threat, able to catch lobs and constantly keep pace with ball handlers. He himself would often bring the ball up to end plays, using gather variations to get by. In the half court, he flashes shot versatility, having incredible touch. He often liked camping in the mid post, waiting to receive the ball and hit shots from 15 feet. He was very balanced in these spots, using a half spin into a touch hook versus Oregon. He flows this activity into off-ball play finishing, he loves being a release valve off a breakdown, either with his floater or cut to the rim. Versus Wichita, he swings the ball around, then waits for an opening on a clean layup. His shot beyond the line, however, needs some work. His gather is too wide, leading to a lot of his energy being sent backwards instead of upwards. His lower body isn't timed with the ball, messing up his momentum. Lastly, his set point is too low, forcing a higher arcing shot without having the flow to apply it. All of these issues lead to an inconsistent form. On this make, he lowers his hip as the ball is reaching his set point, maximizing power. To make up for his lower set point, there's less stoppage during his shot, allowing him to generate more energy. Even just these slight changes allow for a cleaner release. As a roll man in the pick and roll, he brings tons of impact. His ability to finish aerially or apply his touch off a pocket pass is such a value add. He can even put the ball on the floor, making hedging the handler a problem. This diversity as a scorer out of the pick and roll is so valuable and will only get enhanced by his ability to pass. His comfort in the mid-post translates perfectly to his ability as a short roll passer, hitting a cutter nicely. He can even run inverted pick and roll at times, delivering this pocket pass to Sasser. They're so comfortable with his passing that oftentimes he'll just slip off screens and create an open space, showing a slick kick-out pass here. His diversity in delivery makes it harder for bigs to predict, throwing it right past his man's head for two. They're so used to him setting up the play finisher that he can blend in his passing choices, creating a kick-out three. He uses this again versus Miami, getting the ball on the short roll, eyeing the corner shooter to get his low man to help off, then snapping the pass in the paint for a layup. When having to guide players, however, his passing has limitations. On this play, he throws directly to the cutter, forcing him to slow down and allowing his man to get back in position. When the ball swings back to him again, he slides down to the pocket, waits for two players to commit, and then hits a pass directly to the cutter again, resulting in a dunk. While he's shown flashes of changing his delivery, he's still inconsistent. He struggles to extend around for this dump-off pass. His passes are weaker when he doesn't have time to load up, botching this touch pass. Still, he's shown enough flashes to imply he has the potential to add these skills to his game. Draymond's skill set was deemed a true anomaly of the past, but Jarace Walker looks to be an envisioned future.